Alright, what's up guys? So I've got a quick video for you guys. We have a product from TripleALiners for the bed of the truck, but also I just wanted to do a quick 30,000 mile update on the truck. So I've had it for just over a year and a half, actually probably exactly a year and a half, and then just this past weekend hit 30,000 miles with the truck. So I'm going to do a quick walk around of the truck with the modifications I've done to it off camera, just to give you guys a quick update as to what I've done with the truck, kind of just to fix more of the areas that I had slight issues with from what Toyota should have done from the factory. But first, let's talk about the product from TripleALiners. So this is their new 5.5 foot bed mat. So Toyota makes one of these from the factory. I believe there's maybe one or two other aftermarket brands that make some, but usually it's just a super thick rubber mat that then goes in the bed of your truck. What I do like about theirs is that this actually takes the shape and conforms to the actual bed of the truck, so it's not really raised any higher. It's not really kind of like, I don't know, like literally like a mat that just lays on top. This should form around it kind of like a WeatherTech floor mat, kind of like in that nature. So one thing that they told me before they shipped it to me is that the way they package them is that they fold it kind of in half and then in half again. So when you get it, you need to leave it out in the sun. I think they said for like 6 hours or so, just for it to flatten out. You can tell right now it's still raised right here in the center just a little bit, but it's also like 30 degrees. I've had it in the sun all day today, but it's still, like I said, 30 degrees, so it's not really warming up to be able to soften it to flatten it out. The way I got it, it looked way worse than it does now, so it has been a huge improvement just sitting out in the sun for, I think it's been about 5 hours right now. So my truck already has the factory spray-in bed liner, which is actually like super grippy. It's really nice, but we're gonna throw that bed mat in, one, just because it's a little added protection, because it hasn't happened to mine, but I've seen people's factory bed liner actually peel. Like I said, I haven't seen it happen to mine yet, but I'm gonna give it a quick sweep because I've got a bunch of dirt and stuff all in it. And then we're gonna throw in the bed mat, and we're also gonna see if it fits around this, which it should, because it doesn't, the swing out case doesn't interfere at all with the bed. So I'm gonna go grab my broom real quick, sweep it out, and then we'll get to installing that mat. Alright, so like you just saw, I just got it installed, and this thing fits really well. As you can see, it goes right into that corner, right out of that, goes up and around, over to there, same with that side, and thankfully it actually fits around the swing case. So it's obviously super easy to install. It's like literally installing a floor mat, but since that it uses these to actually like locate it into place, it's super easy, super nice. Now once it actually warms up a little bit, this right here should go down, because you can see it's a little raised right there, but it's really nice. I honestly actually did not expect it to fit as well as it does. It fits literally perfect in there. So let me see, let me get down. You can kind of see the hump right there in the center a little bit more, but that works really well. So the thing that I really like about the factory bed liner is that it's really grippy, but also at the same time is also a negative that it's really grippy, because if something's really heavy, like for instance this past weekend I brought a huge generator up to Vermont, and it was on a pallet, and we were barely able to slide it out of the bed because of how rubberized the factory bed liner is. This is actually pretty grippy, but it's also a little, I don't want to call it slippery, but it's harder than the rubber bed liner, so it should allow things to slide a little bit easier. So I'm gonna grab one of my wheels from my garage, I'm gonna throw it in there, and I'm gonna see how the wheel slides back and forth. Alright, so I put one of my TEs in the bed of the truck. Now on the factory bed liner, it didn't really slide around at all. This, it has a little bit of movement, which I'm totally fine with. It makes loading and unloading wheels so much easier. But it looks great. I'd say if you didn't have a factory spray and bed liner, that this is 100% the way to go. And they're not that expensive. It's like a little over $100. So I would say that is definitely the way to go. Super easy. It's fairly thick material, so I don't see it getting damaged. And it actually looks really nice. The quality and the fit is actually like perfect. So thank you, AAA Liners, for sending this out to me. I will link their Amazon information below, just so you guys can get your own bed mat, because this thing actually seems like it is legitimately worth the money. Alright, now for the 30,000 mile review. So I have had only one very, very, very minor issue with the truck, which Toyota fixed no problem. It took a little bit of time for the part to come in, but I had one of the diodes on this passenger side headlight for the DRL go out. Besides that, powertrain wise, exterior wise, interior wise, everything on this truck has been perfect. Haven't had zero other issues with the truck. Other than that, the thing's great. I love driving it. The only big gripes that I have is just when I'm driving it up in Vermont. Well, and also if I'm down here. Basically, whenever it snows, which isn't really that often anymore, the snow collects on the front radar sensor, also collects on the parking sensors. And what that does is that it sends all my warning lights for, pre-collision not working, parking assist not working, and you can't just go into the cluster and acknowledge that they're not working and then have the messages go away. The messages always pop back up. So that is a little annoying, but I've spoke to Toyota about it multiple times, and I see everybody on the Tundra page complaining about it, and so far Toyota hasn't done anything to address those issues. So that's my biggest complaint, is just those two warning messages that come up when there's just snow in the front. So let's go to modifications now as to what I've done. You could probably visually see I've done a couple. So I forget, the last video was the bed tent video. I can't remember. Oh no, I did have the larger tires, but I don't know if I ever spoke about it. So I'll go front to back. The first Tundra video I did was when I finally got it. I did one mod to it, and it was the AFE tow hooks that go underneath the front bumper, which now the tow hooks are off, which was a big upgrade to do, considering that these trucks didn't come with any tow hooks in the front. So I've now since changed that, and I went to a Scorpion OEM style front bumper, which actually kind of like goes up in the center and back down to meet with the painted pieces, which I want to keep this truck like OEM plus, so going with a slim style bumper like this instead of a full bumper was the way to go. I really like the look of it. I like that it has the D-ring attachments, so I got some D-rings for it. I actually got a winch for it as well. This was actually kind of all a package deal, not the tow hooks, but the bumper, the winch, and this 20-inch light bar that's right there as well. That was all part of a package. And I've used the winch already. I've used it once and it works well. The light bar I'll use every so often going up and down from Vermont at night, and it works really well. And the bumper itself looks super clean. It's exactly OEM plus like I want. Later on down the line, I want to actually put some fog lights in these spots as well. I just haven't gotten around to purchasing any yet. But front end wise, that bumper works great, and now you're able to see the TRD skid plate a little easier now. So I like that. Coming around to the sides, I've done the 34-inch tires instead of the factory 33s, which I've had these tires now for 22,000 miles and pretty much exactly a year. The tread looks pretty much just as deep as when I first got them. And the tires are great. I absolutely love these tires. When I bought these from Toyo, these are the RT Trails. I used to have 35s of the regular RTs on my old Tundra, and they worked great off-road and on-road. These Trails have a little bit more of like an all-terrain tread pattern on them, and the noise is actually a lot less. They still work just as good off-road, and I think they visually look very aggressive. So I love these 34s. I was actually debating on getting this type of tire for my Xterra build, but I'm still on the fence about which tires I want to run on that. But I love them. Factory TRD wheels, they're still BBS forged, so I'm not really looking to upgrade those anytime soon. I did do a 1-inch wheel spacer just to try and help the tire, sit flush with the fender flare. And then, since I did make them flush, and because of the 1-inch spacer, it started contacting the factory mud flap. But then also, since they stuck out, it kept on throwing crap down the sides of my truck. And my brother actually has this brand Rock Blocks on his Gladiator, and he really likes the mud flaps. So they actually make a 22 and up Tundra kit. So I bought the 22 Tundra kit, and they work great. I absolutely love them. They're like just over $100. They're not like a rubber. They're a nice, hard, just plastic. And they deflect rocks, mud, snow, ice, whatever you want to throw at them. They deflect, and they work great. On the inside, since now I have that front bumper light bar, I have the ditch lights up here, and I also have chase lights back here. I needed a way to run them. I ran a rough country switch panel right there. Once it focuses, the shifter's kind of in the way right now, but when you're in drive, you have plenty of space in between to reach all of them. So I have all the different lights set up on there. I still want to run more lights in the front and rear as well. So when the time comes, I still have 4 more spots to wire them up. And I also have another one of those switch panels for the Xterra. Coming around to the back, nothing really special. Nothing different. I did do the swing case so I could put my hitch receiver, tie downs, stuff like that. I could throw all that in there. I can't remember if that was on the video or not. But then besides that, that's about it. The truck itself is going to stay pretty much like this for a while now. I was going to buy a lift kit for this, make it a little bit taller, make it more capable off-road, but now that I have the Xterra project, all of the, I'll say, off-road funds from this are now just going to move straight to that, since now that's going to be the purpose-made, purpose-built off-road truck of mine. Oh, you know what? There actually is one more thing that I did. I did the gas tank skid plate. I think it was Victory 4x4 that made this one. Let me crawl underneath. So this one, it's already seen some damage, but it goes all the way from the front. It goes all the way to the rear axle. It's really, really long. It comes in 2 pieces. The separation's right here, but install instructions were easy. All the brackets and hardware is just easy to get to. It's easy to put on. It's heavy. It is very, very heavy. So if you don't have like a pole jack, or if you're doing it on the ground, definitely use a floor jack to get it up into place, but it works. I've already dragged it multiple times. Same with the frame and rock sliders. I've dragged it a bunch of times and it holds up. It holds up way better than the factory plastic one. So the only other mod I have coming on its way for this thing is that the 24 Tundra, the TRD Pro, just now started coming with some billet upper control arms for the front. I don't know why the 22 and 23 TRD Pro Tundras didn't come with them. What I'm assuming is that they didn't have them developed in time, because the previous gen Tacoma TRD Pro already has them, and then now what's now going to be the current gen Tacoma is coming with them also. So I don't know why the 22, 23 Tundras didn't come with any type of billet upper control arm, because I would have liked something a little extra besides just the Fox suspension to differentiate myself from like a TRD off-road. But now the 24 Pro is now coming with them. I ended up getting the part numbers from the Tundra Facebook page, and I had my parts department order them up for me, but unfortunately they're on back order for right now. But once they come in, I'll be putting those on. They don't change anything. I'm fairly certain all the alignment specs are exactly the same. They're not like, I guess they're technically beefier. They're bigger, they're stronger. Now they're billet aluminum and they're going to be red, so they're going to look, mostly, honestly, for me it was just the visual. It's going to be a nice billet red, so they're going to look cool. But that's a majority of why I wanted them. But that's about it. Just going to do those up control arms. I'm going to do an alignment on it while I do those. And then it's going to stay pretty much like this for a little while, until pretty much the Xterra is built. Then I'll put a little bit more money into this, because I do still want to do like a 2-inch lift on it. Eventually, when these tires wear out, I want to buy another set of like either Method wheels or maybe some RRW wheels, and do some true 35s, and then keep these wheels, maybe some Toyo AT3s on them for wintertime, so they're a little bit better than these in the snow. But then keep like this type of tire in a 35 for spring and summer. I'm not sure yet, but I do still want to do a lift. I want to do 35s, but then pretty much overall it's going to stay exactly like this. And then I almost forgot, one other thing that I added was the AFE intakes. So obviously intake on this side, intake on this side. I originally bought these to try and get more turbo spool noise, but what I have found out, that these don't really make any more noise than the factory intake did when I took that sound matting material out of the top of the airbox on them with the TRD air filters. So if you already have the TRD air filter and you take that sound material out of the airbox, it's not necessarily worth getting these if you're just trying to get it for more turbo noise, because it honestly actually sounds a little quieter now than it did with just the factory intake that I modified. But I mean, I guess technically you could get a little bit more power out of these. This tube right here is just a little bit bigger. Obviously where the mass airflow is, it isn't. You can see it kind of like tapers down, but the airbox itself is a lot larger. It goes right into the fender well, right where the factory one does, but also has this opening right here that allows more turbo noise to come out. But they also give you a rubber plug that you can cap this off, just so you don't get more heat, like hot air, into the intake. But with the grill right here, air blown in here, air blown all through here, I feel like it, you know, you don't heat soak in here as much. The catch can, for an update, every 5,000 miles I do an oil change on this, and every 5,000 I drain that, and usually every 5 it's about half full, so that's not too bad. So by your 10,000 mile like oil change intervals, if you do it every 10, it'll be pretty much full, which isn't bad. It's not bad at all. It's a small little container, so I'm okay with that. Definitely seeing the fluid that comes out of that, I'm glad it's not going into my engine. I'm glad it's going into the catch can. But that's about it. Other than that, the AFE charge pipes are still totally fine. Can't tell you, you know, I get a lot of people asking me if I noticed any power difference or any like sound difference from them. If I'm gonna be brutally honest, no. I don't know if I feel any power difference. Definitely there's no sound difference from just a pipe. If anything's gonna be a sound difference, it's gonna be the intake, but I mostly just did them kind of just for looks, but also just, I don't know, just to have them instead of just the plastic ones. But if you were gonna try and buy those thinking that they're gonna give you more power or more turbo sound, they're not going to. Maybe with a tune they give more power, but just with the factory tune, I highly doubt there's any power difference from that versus the factory ones. But so that's it. That's my 30,000 mile review. Haven't really had any issues. Still love this truck just as much as I did the first night I picked it up. So I'm gonna end it there. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.